Yo, what is really good, my dudes? Today is Monday, March 18th, 2019, and we got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today is a typical patch week with improvements to the Spellbook swap and various others. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this week was actually supposed to be the Firemaking update, however it did get delayed, unfortunately, to next week, just to give them a little more time to get everything working properly. This was the update that was going to add Incense burners and improvements to the fire spirits as a whole, so we're going to have to wait one extra week. This does mean that it's actually going to be coupled with the PVM vitalization week, so it should be a pretty compacted week with a bunch of updates for us to sink our teeth into. So we just gotta wait an extra week. That being said, today's just a simple patch week. We've got the highlight update, the Spellbook swap. They've made some changes to swapping. New spells have been added to both Ancients and Looter spellbooks that will facilitate direct swapping to different spellbooks. There's also been new icons to differentiate them from the existing spellbook swap. You still will need to have the required amount of runes to spellbook swap, however, so keep that in mind. And that is pretty much it for the highlights of the update. We're gonna move on over to the patch notes and see exactly what's been changed there. So let's go ahead and check it out. The Lumberjacks Strikes Back achievement can now be completed correctly. It's once again possible to complete the pot stop achievements from the Varrock Easy tasks. It's once again possible to complete the Staff on Strike achievement on the Desert Elite task. Voiceover has been added to the Magister boss fight. The barrier into the Crassian Leviathan fight no longer reopens during the fight. Revenant Spirit Pet item now appears with a loot beam when dropped. Madras location has been added to the Slayer skill cape teleport options. Magical threads are earned less frequently when crafting fewer runes in an interaction. A message warning you that Mandarin Slayer tasks aren't being counted outside the wilderness now only appear when fighting that specific task's creature. It's no longer possible to get a social Slayer task from Mandarith if your partner doesn't meet his combat requirements. Adrenaline crystals dropped from the wilderness rare loot table are now noted. Updated where messaging appears when failing to earn points for bounty emblem upgrades. Corrected the flag shown on the friends chat and clan chat interfaces on non-English worlds. Squagoth's chat head has had issues with looking too dark in certain graphic settings. This has been resolved. Corrected a typo in Thieves Guild Robin's chat. Added a missing apostrophe in Concentrated Blast's description. Spellbook swap can also be used off global cooldown from the action bar. Supreme Potions have had their tooltips updated to correctly display the boost received when consumed. Blackstone arrows are now consumed as expected within the Turanwind quiver. Blackstone arrows will now correctly deplete in PvP. The Iron Figure object is no longer available on the Grand Exchange. A client error when opening the quest accept/decline screen on the mobile client has been fixed. We've had an option from the mini menu to completely close the minigames interface from the ribbon. This will only work for non-area related minigame interfaces such as the Dungeoneering Party interface. Operating the Ring of Kinship to start a Dungeoneering party will now correctly open the minigames interface rather than just populating it on the ribbon. Remove some PC terminology in favor of some more generic in the Authenticator input box on the login screen. A couple of typos in the Void Knights Commendations reward shop have been corrected. Added an option in the UI customization section of the general gameplay settings that allows users to toggle the display of the summoning globe between summoning points and familiar options. The huge urn option in the Ring of Urns has now returned from its holiday and is now taking its rightful place as a transmog option. Ring of Trees and Ring of Coins can now be accessed in the transmogrification interface if they've been added to your POH storage. Fixed an issue where some tall and narrow window mode layouts could cause issues with the bank and the interface overlapping in legacy mode when the window was resized. Remove duplicate buying options from player-owned ports traders. The ransom note in the Stolen Hearts quest will no longer appear in the area loot interface as it cannot be picked up this way. Lumbridge Catacomb statuettes will no longer reference Xenia after her demise. A reference to iron in regards to the mine in Remington within the Animal Magnetism quest have been changed due to the mine no longer containing iron rocks. corrected a typo with the Vial of Orange Mist Destroy message in Dimension of Disaster. Gertrude's chat tree has been rewritten to centralize the flow of dialogue. The Grace of the Elves will now show a debuff when deactivated and a buff when active to help distinguish what state it is in. Assisting a player with crafting certain items will now correctly give the experience gain to the player assisting rather than the player receiving the assist. Players are no longer spammed with a warning message if they have boosted their smithing level to start a project they no longer meet the requirements for. A full stamina bar is no longer displayed, if enabled, above the player's head when they start to mine a node which does not deplete stamina, such as crablets or sandstone. Attempting to cast a alchemy spell on an unfinished smithing item will now return the correct message rather than the prior message, which was inaccurate. Added missing smithable sounds to the anvils in Dungeoneering. Uncut onyxes are no longer obtained from mining Prefdinus gem rocks. And finally, the reward shop benefit from the Gurajan Trailblazer outfits no longer requires you to rare the outfits to get the reward shop discount / skip floors, provided you own the outfit. And that is it for your patch notes. Everything in this video is linked down in the description below if you want to go ahead and check them out for yourself. Head on over there to do so. With that, I'm gonna wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.